You should do cooking. You should do cooking. Maybe I should do cooking in a desperate attempt to get views. I should do cooking. Maybe I should start shaving in my bathroom with a pair of balls on my chest in a desperate attempt to get views. Maybe I should just do what interests me. And whoever watches it watches it. That's just me though. That's not the rest of the people in this is it even a community anymore? It's really just weird. You know what we're going to talk about that. Well, what I'm going to talk about first is this amazing fragrance that I have on is my scent of the day. It's my first Mason Francis Kirkjohn full bottle, Grand Soir. The bottle doesn't matter though. Remember that. Look at the atomizer on this. Bawoosh. Phenomenal scent. Phenomenal. It's a 70 ml, about $200. If if I don't want to hear any crying, I no longer want to hear any crying on my channel about not everybody can afford this. Not everybody can afford to walk into a Nordstrom's, even a Macy's. They make Target for you guys. They make TJ Maxx. Just go over there. This channel, this hobby really isn't even for brokies, let alone this channel. I'm no longer going to placate and hold the hand of brokies and say, oh, no, I know you can't afford it. Oh, I'm sorry for being gainfully employed. You could go to 1,000 other influencers that'll hold your little tiny hands through the playground like that. I'm not going to do that from now on. I think it's just it's stupid is what it is. It's absolutely stupid. Yeah. Apparently people think I just got here or something. They don't know that I've had a few successful channels. And this is kind of a throwback to one of those channels. I only own a Wii U. You should do cooking. Yeah, like I said, Sticks, I'd love to make a video going through the analytics. Also amazing. I've been studying these analytics for what, like 10, like come on, John. We've seen people buy subscribers, buy views, buy live viewers. We've seen this for 10, 12. I don't know how many years we've been outing these people. They think they think they have something new, a new way to fool us. And I've seen 100. Well, not me personally. I was gonna say I've seen 100 sex workers like that girl. Maybe privately. Oh, don't tell me this is the real bathtub perfumer himself. The boss. The boss. There's no way he'd show up here. He's a boss. He's serving. He's serving. I'd ask him some questions to see just how much he was serving out in them streets, but he'll probably just Google the shit. I mean, real quick, in less than 5 seconds, Christopher Lee, weigh me out a 16th of an ounce, quick. How much is that in grams? Go. 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Come on, Google it. Come on, you were serving. You don't need Google for this. Hold on, let me look it up. Maybe it is the real CEO. Maybe it's actually 1.75, but I always went 1.8 because I am the human scale. the CEO of Alibaba. And we're going to talk about Bathtub Perfumers, much like Christopher Lee fragrances. And I think some of you guys from the Cannoli Mafia, drop a 69 if you Cannoli Mafia up in this bitch. I think a lot of you guys are going to remember another Bathtub Perfumer, and his name was Trill Noel. His name was Xarmony, Harmony, whatever, however you pronounce that shitty company that he's pretending to make. And you know, the thing about showing up on a Cannoli Mafia live stream is, I'm sure you've seen it, but it looks like a bunch of rowdy savages up in there. But I don't think you understand just how eclectic that group is. That is not a place to show up and try to pretend that you have money, because a lot of people there have money. And it's not a place to show up with a fake perfume company and pretend that you're making niche fragrances, even especially if you're making them in your bathtub. You will be outed and exposed quickly. And he was. And it was hilarious. And he disappeared. Much like his home in that hurricane. He disappeared. He vanished. Poof. Into thin air. We gonna get to the Bathtub Perfumer and how he's been making the rounds. And I've seen him making the rounds, and I'll save this discussion when we get some maybe we'll get an all black stream so I can discuss this with the black community themselves. But I think I'm gonna just drop this. I just think he may be being pushed, and Chris CEO may be being pushed for the sole reason of, we got to support black people in this community. I'm just saying, I don't see any other reasons, but I certainly don't want to collect a bunch of white people and have a stream of white people talking about that. I'd much rather do it with the community themselves. But maybe we'll find. And by the way, I myself have found an amazing actual black perfumer, but I'll discuss that when this fragrance comes to fruition, when this company starts doing the pre-orders. I got the bottle in hand with. So I'm telling you, if you're looking for a black perfumer, black company to push, to accept, to help, that ain't it. Harmony ain't it. It just ain't. And a couple of shout outs I want to give out to some of these fragrances right here. This fragrance, it's called Absolutio by Navitus. And I was going to get in the video, but in the review I seen of it, $195, 50 ml, insane price. I found it for Mercari on $65. Well worth it at that price. And the review I seen on it, it was a great review. The reviewer was Equality Fragrances. And I think 50% of what Equality Fragrances EQ says is absolute truth. Genius. Love it. And the other 50% is absolute insane bullshit. And I'm still convinced that he's trolling that 50%. He's a genius troll. And unless he, tells me privately or publicly, even, no, I'm not trolling, I really believe these things, I refuse to believe. I'm just going to keep believing that he's somewhat intelligent and that he's just kind of trolling people and kind of playing a character, because the other 50% is just a bunch of hogwash and nonsense. Barrett Fragrances, an amazing clone of Creed Spice and Wood. Problem I have with Creed Spice and Wood at that price is that it's not very strong. It's not very beast mode. This one, although much more synthetic, lasts all day, smells great. Love it. It's a masculine scent. I'm loving this Grand Soir, though. It's an amazing fragrance. And another great fragrance I got right here, Mancera Amore Cafe. This was almost my scent of the day. And I ended the live stream, and I had a carded sample from Paco Rabanne. I had unboxed some Paco Rabanne, and I smelled it, and I said, "Yeah, it's good, but it's nothing really new. It's nothing really exciting." And then I did wear the sample that day and the next, and God, what a joy to wear! What a joy to wear! I saw the Max Forte review again, and he pulled out the giant bottle, the giant Sebastian bottle of it, and I couldn't help myself. 1 million gold. I do enjoy it. There'll be more on this fragrance in the upcoming days and weeks, and I'm just having a good old time here. Time for a bigger cologne cabinet. That's not the only cabinet. I have a whole nother cabinet and boxes and shelves, and if I were to just put cabinets in here, like the whole wall would just be like 4 or 5 cabinets. 1 million, 1 million elixir is amazing. And there was a sale, the Macy's sale that I talked about in my video. When I went back to go get a giant bottle of Jean Paul Gaultier Le Male elixir, the sale ended unfortunately. But what they were doing is I don't know, like 10 timesing the points you get. Like if I were to bought that Le Male elixir, it would have gave me like $40 worth of rewards points. I think I'll just buy that another 100 ml on discounters and call it a day. Rubber rubber ducky pour home. Oh, that fragrance is trash. Absolute garbage. Now I'm talking about another video I saw. I saw Fatboy Fragrance review the Spice Bomb Dark Leather, and he's on point with his review as always. But one thing he did, and it was just so funny when I saw it. He goes and he gets the Spice Bomb Dark Leather, and then he says, "Yeah, it's similar to the Ombre Leather." And I had just pulled out Ombre Leather after not smelling it for a long time. And when I smelled it, I said, "Oh my God, I forgot how good this was." I just knew that he was going to instantly change his mind when he sprayed that Ombre Leather, and he did right on camera. He said, "Oh, wait a minute. No, maybe it's not like it." And it's just great. It's great when his videos are because his videos are unedited. Just the live reactions. I love that channel. 1 million gold is amazing if you love the sandalwood. Do I like any Guerlain L'Homme fragrances? The L'Homme fragrances? You mean like the what is this? The L'Homme ADL Parfum? Or are you talking about the ones in the older ones in the tall bottles, like the L'Homme and the Heritage and the what is it? The vetiver and all those older ones. I got those. I got a couple of Aqua Allegorias. Yeah, it's decent. And that's one of those ones where I would probably have to wear it a few days because when I smelled it in the store, I just was like, another spice bomb. I wasn't too impressed. I have no plans for it, but let me see if we can start off on this bathtub perfumery, and I'll break down the history of Trill Noel. If you don't know who Trill Noel is, he's basically a guy that came out of nowhere. I think Joe Anthony, Unaverage Joe, found this guy somewhere, somewhere on Instagram, maybe, I don't know. And he went out on a ledge. He jumped on that grenade for the rest of us and bought like a sample set and then shared them with uh, Joey Cannoli. And maybe people that just haven't been following Joey Cannoli's streams for a long time don't really know that he has a pretty vast knowledge and quite a collection of fragrances. So you're not getting these aren't being experienced by like some casual wearer of fragrances. That this guy knows something about fragrances. And so he goes on there and he shares his history of Mongolian throat singing and his selling of foot pictures and how he is a perfumer, an artist. And he shares his fragrances and his fragrance company. And then they share the samples and then they share the prices. And one of the things that you're some new company, you show up on the Cannoli Mafia live stream. I'm gonna throw some money on. I'm gonna probably try your fragrances, try your at least your sample set. I'm gonna give them a shot. But when you're charging like $300 and to show up and not even say like, bam, here's a promo code for you guys in the live stream to try them out. To not even do that and charge that, and who the hell are you again? Like, wait a minute, you're like a high end like YSL, just charging that, and you make them wear in your trailer park that blew away from a fucking hurricane. No, I don't think so. I don't think I'll be trying that. Again, thank you, Joe A and Joey Cannoli, for jumping on that fucking grenade for us to try those horrible fragrances. And they were god awful. They were god awful. Scent of the day, Christopher Lee honey water. You can't be serious. Those fragrances are terrible. Those fragrances are god awful. Let me, because I don't want you guys to think I'm trolling. Let me be clear. They smell pleasant like an car air fresheners. When I say horrible, they're not fragrances. They're a cheap cash grab and a scam, and it's pathetic. As a matter of fact, when I talked about there's no way this is a real fragrance and he's just buying crap from Alibaba and mixing them together, I reached out to somebody who's currently working on a fragrance and I asked them, because I think a lot of these people think I'm just guessing things. Like, do you really think I'm just guessing some of these things I know about the fragrance industry? Like, believe it or not, little old me. And it's not because I'm a special snowflake. It's because we live in the age of social media where you can contact these brand owners and these perfumers and actually speak to them. Like, I spoke to yet another person, because this isn't the first person that he has even told me this. I spoke to a person working on a fragrance and I said, "Where did you get your oils?" And the first thing he said is what I've been saying. "I didn't get the oils. My perfumer did." Oh, perfumer. Like the one Chris, the CEO, doesn't have? Yeah, because he's got a legitimate perfumer. And then he said, and even then, I have a business partner. Just backing up what I've been saying about you're not just going to have a pathetic YouTube channel like Chris, the CEO, and just walk into a firma niche and some of these large flavoring houses and just say, "I'm ready to make my fragrance." That's not how it works. It costs a lot of money. You got to have a lot of kind of pool. You got to kind of know some people, and it's just hilarious. Hill tried them too. She was not a fan. Well, there's a nice young lady that tried them, and she was also not a fan. And when I say not a fan, she was disgusted by these horrible fragrances. They may or may not have later on induced vomit. These disgusting Xarmony fragrances. They're horrible. They were horrible. And when I was given the title and where to find this video, it was hilarious. I loved it. We're gonna go straight to the video and we're gonna watch it. We're gonna break that down. Laugh at these bathtub perfumers. Just stop it with. You're not a perfumer just because you can go on Alibaba and buy some goddamn oils, people. They have schools for this, They do have schools. And by the way, when I talk about this person who's working on a project, and they told me the perfumer's name, and the perfumer was, had a resume. One thing I seen in this perfumer's Instagram is a certification that of shipping of hazmat materials. It's like a 10-hour course. You don't really need that to be a perfumer. You probably don't even need that to ship perfumes. There's only a few things you need to know about shipping for perfumes. The fact that this person went out and got legitimate certification. I'm certified in the shipping of hazmat, by the way. It's not just shipping of perfumes and alcohols. It runs you down everything. The shipping of corrosive materials, of poisons, how you can and can't ship them, the proper documentation needed by both the shipper and where you're shipping it to, and then there's really you can't really fly hazardous materials, so they're mostly ground packages that you have the documentation that those drivers have to have. Like, for this person to go the extra mile, this person has a passion and takes this seriously. And that's just something we're not going to get from a lot of these bathtub perfumers, but we're going to look at this lady, this lovely young lady. And I'm surprised she doesn't have more content because she looked quite knowledgeable, quite the connoisseur of perfumes and fragrances. But we're gonna watch her video, and we're gonna laugh at the throat singer, Trill Noel.
To highlight the negative brands and the negative things that they do. But nothing that I'm about to say is a personal dig at the owner or the brand. It's just I spent hard-earned money and I am very displeased with the product. I'm talking about Xarmony Perfumes, which is run and operated marketing from the beginning to end of the entire thing. It's Trill Noel who's in charge of this thing. And
the reason it's run by Trill Noel from top to bottom, from the marketing, from the shipping, from all that, the reason it's running that, because it's not a company. It's not a real company. It's a guy. It's just a guy. That's why.
And I ordered 6 samples from his website after.
Oh my God, look. You can get those labels and those decants from any decanter. He did not even take the time to have like professionally custom labels for the decants. The same decants, all the other decanters are using. He didn't even do that. And have you ever gotten a sample set from a Roja, from a Xerjoff, from even fucking Paco Rabanne? Look at that. Cheap, disgusting. I know decanters on Facebook with nicer fucking decants than that guy, and he's charging a fucking ass load of money just for that sample set.
Reading a whole bunch of info on the notes. Then 2 seconds of placing the order, I get a phone call just to specify which sample, I guess, I was asking for. I don't know. I thought I made that clear in the request on.
Look at her video. She says,
I was asking for. I don't know. I thought I made that clear. I get a phone call.
Look, it says scammer vibes. Scammer vibes. That's more than scammer vibes. The inappropriateness to call the number, which, by the way, is usually for, say, issues like they're out of stock, but primarily that number is for the shipper. That number is for the shipper in case there's an address correction that's needed, just in case a driver shows up to your home and you have a gate or it's dangerous to approach. For this guy, this one guy, because it's not a real company, to call minutes later this young lady, it's inappropriate. It's more than scammer. It's creepy. It's disgusting. And I'm just shocked this story didn't end with some kind of inappropriate, like, coming on to the woman or anything like of that nature. That is just disgusting. It's a disgusting business practice, and it's disgusting on just so many levels. Shame on this horrible human being.
Specify which sample, I guess, I was asking for. I don't know. I thought I made that clear in the request online, but he called me and spoke to me for like an hour, just telling me about how wonderful the perfumes are and how they're going to sell out really quickly. And I should hurry up and decide and order a full bottle. And I said, I really can't.
The desperation. The first question that would pop up into my head if somebody called me that, like, you're doing so well and they'll sell out so fast that you called me minutes later to try to upsell me. Bullshit. Never call again. I would never do business with that scumbag.
Can't place any kind of order until I get my discovery set. I have no idea who you are, and your stuff is quite expensive. So I would like to at least get a sample and then we'll go from there. So I'm so glad that I stuck to my guns on this one, because as tempted as I was to do a full bottle blind buy, which I mean, I've done in the past, I'm so glad I didn't do it this time. I mean, I saved myself a big headache, but
No, you didn't save yourself a big headache at all, because you're gonna have to smell that trash that he sold you as a sample set. And there's no way this video doesn't end without you having an actual headache.
let me break down the 6 samples that I did get, and we'll start with the 3 that were the least offensive. It's very rare that I
Did you hear that? Let's start off with the 3 that were least offensive. She didn't say the 3 that I liked. She didn't say the 3 that I thought that were just okay. She said the 3 that were the least offensive. That means they were all offensive fragrances. Oh my. Bathtub Perfumer. The bathtub was probably rusty. The water that comes out of it is probably brown. It's unfiltered. It's just the toilet is backing up into the bathtub, just raw sewage of this disgusting Bathtub Perfumer stink water.
dislike everything in a discovery set so intensely. I mean, there's always at least one that I like and makes me curious to maybe try another one, but these were straight up bombs.
She has never liked a discovery set so intensely as she dislikes Xarmony perfumes. I told you. I told you, people. I try to warn you, but you still let them on your streams and try to accept them in this community.
They were like not in a good way. They were so bad. First one up is Roses in Awe. And this one smells, yes, like roses and some vanilla and some powderiness, but also a very strong presence of mushrooms and a metallic vibe that it just takes over the entire composition, and I can't stand it. The next one is Vanilla X2. And this one smells like a powdery, almost like baby powdery vanilla. And it also has a very mushroom metallic background that just covers up the entire vanilla powderiness, and I can't stand it. And the third one is Athena. And this is supposed to be a major gourmand, and it's kind of smoky. It's got some burnt sugar notes in there. But again, that mushroom metallic just hits me in the face, and I don't like it. Maybe
the fragrances he brought to the Cannoli Mafia were all mint. Now they are all mushrooms. I'm sorry. You guys in the chat, are you guys fans of the smell of mushrooms? Would you like a fragrance that smells like mushrooms? Would you like to walk around smelling like a giant mushroom all day? A muddy, dirty vanilla mushroom? What is this idiot thinking? I wouldn't talk to Aaron Hughes for an hour. Mushrooms and metal. I'm crying over here. Let's continue this video. It gets better. It gets better.
maybe it's a combination of the mint with the aldehydes. I don't know. Although mint, I don't think is listed as a note, but I did look all this up on Google, and they say that a mushroom or metallic note would be very present if aldehydes were introduced into the composition, and perhaps maybe in too large a quantity, or it just doesn't mesh well with the other ingredients. Now on to the 3 that really took my breath away in a bad way. Yanari smells like cleaning product. It's very, very pungent, very strong. So I guess if you are dousing your house in bleach and you need to cover up the smell, you can cover up with this. It's not very pleasant. I don't want to smell like this.
Cleaning product. You know what cleaning product means in perfumery and fragrances? It means he didn't even go out and search like some kind of artisan, like special ingredients, which speaks to the pricing of his fragrances, why they're $300. Like, he's using the cheapest clearance rack, bottom of the barrel, Alibaba oils, AliExpress oils. And it smells like a cleaning product. I've said this time and time again about them cheap Latifahs. There are literal ingredients, the same ingredients of cleaning products in those fragrances and in Xarmony's.
02 is another gourmand, and bread pudding is listed as one of the notes, and that is definitely what I'm getting from this one. It smells eggy, sulfurous, and pungent. It also has that.
That's not appealing to you guys. Eggy, sulfurous, and pungent. $300 for these fragrances, people. $300. Oh my God. Look in the corner. Look in the corner. Tell me that's not who I think it is. Tell me that's not who I think it is. Look at, does anybody recognize this guy in the corner right here? We're going to click on that short when this video is over. For the love of God. Tell me that's not who I think it is.
That metallic mushroomy background. And I also do not want to smell like this. The real kicker is Chiome. This one smells like death. Really. It smells like rotting leaves, something pungent, wet stone. And I don't know if that was intentional, but this is a very difficult fragrance and I don't like it at all. I don't want.
It smells like death. Like death. I don't want to smell like death.
Smell like death, and I don't want to smell it around me either. So this is a definite no. I disliked every one of them, and it just kind of made me think that perhaps Trill Noel is punking the fragrance community. There's so many of us who are collectors and we appreciate fragrance. We're willing to pay like a.
Maybe we're all wrong. Maybe he's just a genius and this is one big troll experiment. He's either the worst perfumer on the planet or the greatest troll ever. Trill Noel. Sadly, we've spoken to him. He's an idiot. He's not trolling. He just sucks. His fragrances suck, and he sucks.
Lot of money to own a really good bottle, especially if it's intriguing. And he just slapped a bunch of ingredients together, put a pretty label on it, and thought, okay, marketing is going to do the job for me. All these people are not going to know what's coming. They're just, one person is going to say it smells good, and then they're all going to follow suit. That is not the case. All right. Marketing has its place. And if something is really good, the marketing will be justified. Otherwise, you're getting returns. Another major red flag to consider is that Trill Noel is not a chemist. He is not an experienced perfumer. His About Me page on his website actually says that in 2020, he sold feet pictures. And then a year later, he started the Xarmony brand. And he lost his house, unfortunately, in a storm. And then he rebuilt and then started selling out of his product. So those are some major leaps and bounds with no experience, no training, nothing to really back the claims that he's making. So just going based on my nose and the samples that I have received, I don't think this guy knows what he's doing. That's just my warning to you, being fully transparent and honest. It's not your skin chemistry. It's the lack of experience that this person has in creating his stuff that
he doesn't know what he's doing. Trust me, it's not your skin chemistry. It's not any kind of chemistry. He doesn't know anything about chemistry or perfumery or anything else other than taking pictures of fucking feet and selling them on the internet.
calls not perfume, but art. It's a far stretch to call it art, but that's my 2 cents. Anyone can go online and do a perfume organ search and start purchasing ingredients and just mix and match like a mad scientist. But it doesn't mean that you're going to know what you're doing or that it's even going to be good. And if you have no shame in marketing your subpar creations, then it is our duty as the fragrance community to call you out. It's also suspicious.
Maybe there's a little something in my ear. I am old. There's some hair in my ear, probably. It is our duty as the fragrance community to call crap like this out. So for the why do you care? Oh, why do you care? It is our duty as the fragrance community to call trash like this out. Parfum Gia, God bless you, woman, for standing on business like a real member of this community and bravely against all odds against the community trying to cover this up like the dead body that one of those fragrances smelled like, to stand up to the masses and let them know and warn them and put your own money on the line to warn them about this stench, the stench of death. I salute you, woman. You are brave. You are lovely. God bless you.
It's just that you can't find any negative reviews on his website or any of his social media platforms. So if you want the truth, you're going to have to dig and see what the real customers are saying. Find them on social media, on TikTok, and even on the commentary on this post, because I'm inviting everybody who has a story to chime in. Not everybody knows what they're doing. So thank you, One Fragrant Virgo, for lighting a fire under me and reminding me that it's okay to share even the reviews that are not so stellar. Just be careful out there. There's a lot of brands, there's a lot of good stuff, and there's a lot of bad stuff too. I hope my review was helpful. And if you've had any experience with the Xarmony perfume brand, comment down below. I want to know your story too.
Thank you, young lady. It was very helpful. The bravery of this woman. She does not like to crap on companies and fragrances. She had to be convinced by somebody to stand up and say that this fragrance was trash.
Thicker, fuller.
Look, there's me. Look, thank you for your bravery and honesty. You are not the only one who's had this type of experience. Thanks for your honest review. A message to who is this? A message to any trolls / followers of Troll Noel hopping under this young lady's video to attempt to negate her personal experience with this brand on his behalf. Not a good look and not a good move. I already told that man that he better go away, and we will see to it that he does go away 100. You might want to go away as well, because we are fully aware of who is connected to him. His fake apology videos gets no play over here, and we all know he don't want none of this smoke. Who wrote this? Me? Who is this lovely woman? Another lovely young woman. And I promise you don't either. You're dealing with harassment, and I'll prove it to the right folks on a Fed level. You need to get off her page and go on with your lives. You better not come to my page with no bullshit either, because I promise you will not like it. Oh! Metallic mushroom, no thanks. I respect your opinion, but I just feel you had one interaction in which you purchased a sample pack, I think you said, and I'll speak on that in a second. I think you said, how does that warrant a whole bashing video? I feel like you took this opportunity, the same opportunity he took to tell you about his product, to make yourself known. I see what you just did there. I respect your / the hustle. Now this comment, I personally invite different opinions to my channel, and this is obviously a different opinion. It's also a very stupid opinion to look at this woman's channel and say she did this for clout when she had to be talked into it by somebody else because she doesn't like bashing other people. It's ridiculous. Nobody's getting clout bashing this garbage water. When I speak of bashing somebody and how I don't bring them to my channel because nobody would know who the hell they are, this is one of the guys I was speaking of. It's why we met him like, what, a year or two ago, and you've never heard nothing on my channel about him. Only when he started to pop up did I even mention it. And that's because people are pushing the narrative. And like I said, I seen a thumbnail. Oh, Rico, no, Rico, no. I hope that's just somebody that looks like Rico. If that's Rico, I think I'm going to go in the car and cry a little bit. Oh my, no, Rico, no. She sees how he would arrive to this conclusion, but I don't. And by the way, there are fragrances that I smell that I don't really like them, or they don't impress me until I give them 1, 2, sometimes more wearing. It's like this. There are some fragrances that I think are just amazing. Then I wear them. Kind of why I bash the decant reviewers. They don't have enough wearings under the belt to give full reviews. There has never, in my 800 bottles probably by now, tons of decants. I have boxes and boxes of decants. I think I've smelled, if I had to take a guess, over 2,000 fragrances. There has never been one that smelled absolutely terrible, because there really isn't even that many terrible fragrances. Never been a terrible fragrance that I went back to later and eventually came good. If they're terrible, that's why test strips exist. A test strip's not going to tell you a whole lot about a fragrance, but it will tell you if it absolutely stinks, which is why I think they exist. So when she makes a video of her experience of these decants and tells you they stink, ain't no amount of wearing is gonna fucking fix that. It's just trash, people. It's just garbage. You can make her wear it, and by I don't even know if she could survive that many wearings. You can make her wear it 10 times. It's still gonna be garbage at the end of the day. Now I'm gonna click on this. I'm gonna hope it's just a doppelganger, because this can't be Rico. Fragged out, swagged out with thousands of bottles. Nice shit behind him, too. We're talking indie, niche, designer, anything you can throw out there. He smelled it and he knows it. And for the love of God, don't be Rico. Don't be Rico.
But this one right here,
Oh, Rico!
This is going to be vanilla and plum. Vanilla, I love. Plum, I love. So as long as this is made well, this is probably going to be a banger already. Not that one. There we go. I wish I had more free skin because I'm going to have to use blotters in a minute. But okay. So this is very interesting because
this is why I love the live reactions, because I know Rico's a nice guy. A lot of nice people in this community. A lot of nice people that are going to be so blunt as I am and tell you it smells like shit. It smells like fucking sewage. It smells like the bottom of a fucking hamper. You could tell by his reaction before he even brought his hand to his nose. He's like, oh. And then the classic line when you don't like something, but you don't want to say it. What do you hear every time? What do you hear every time? That's interesting. That's interesting. When I sprayed this, I did not say, that's interesting. You know what I said? I said, damn, this smells good. What is this? That's the hype. I did not say, that's interesting. Math is interesting. Scientific equations are interesting. Hearing that idiot Terrence Howard blather his nonsensical math equations are stupid, but they're interesting. That fragrance is not interesting. It stinks, Rico. Say it stinks.
The plum here is very different from any plum really that I've done in fragrance. Usually the plums in fragrance are...
The plum's different because usually plums and fragrances smell good, Rico. Say it.
I don't know. They have more of a candied fruitiness to it. This plum comes off almost like real plum. It almost has like a tartness to it, like it's fruity. It's kind of juicy. I'm getting way more plum than vanilla. But this one right here, this is gonna be vanilla and plum. Vanilla,
that's all we got.
I love.
That's all we got out of the short. It's there's plum in it. Oh, Rico. Oh no, we're leaving the decant reviewers behind. They cry too much, and I think eventually, if enough people like me start putting out content, good content, we'll drown out the decant reviewers and the bums and the fakes, and that's how we'll fight them. We'll build our own communities over here, and because trolling them, it just hurts their feelings, and they cry and they call us bullies, and but it's nonsense. And I'm just glad that my little tiny voice and my tiny channel has made a difference, because there are a lot of people that are now talking about this, much larger channels than me. I just saw a review with Ramsey, and guess what topic came up? The bottles. And Ramsey made a genius point that I had never even thought of. Ramsey said, yeah, the bottles are important because that whole shelf of bottles behind us all, when we buy a fragrance, we're not wearing it 24 hours a day. I mean, 99% of the time it sits there on our shelves like an art piece. These are art pieces. I mean, just look at some of the designs of these bottles. I mean, some people call this bottle tacky, but look at this bottle. I mean, think about the designs on the Zahara fragrances when they say the bottle doesn't matter. Look at this bottle. These are custom Zahara bottles. You don't find these on Alibaba. George has these bottles made for his company, and look at the design. It's got the TLTG on the front, and it's clear, and there's a design on the back and the color scheme of it, and then there's even more elaborate Zahara bottles. And then, I mean, think about the iconic Lamal bottles. I mean, these sit on the shelf. This is a beautiful, it's one of the more beautiful Lamal bottles. You see it's clear, and there's like these tattoos on it, on the torso. I mean, come on, sometimes they're tacky, and that's part of the charm, like this ridiculous Dumont with a tassel on it. And then, you know, these are art. Look at this classy Mason Francis Kirkjohn. Look at the sprayer on this thing. They sit on a shelf. People put lights on them and stuff and display them. Much nicer displays. And then look at this. Did you see the sprayer? Tell me I'm not the only one who doesn't go into their collection and pull out stuff and, you know, spray it. They might not even wear it. They spray it in the air just to remember of when they bought it. And a lot of us are collectors, and Ramsey made that point. This topic is reaching much larger channels now, and I'd like to think I had a small part in that, and it's becoming a topic, and a topic people should just like the lady said, it's our job in this community to out bullshit. Her name is Perfume Gia, and I think she's probably got a much more of a following and does much more content on I believe Instagram. You'd have to, but I'd love to see more content. I'd love to subscribe to her. It's great to see people who are not in this to become salespeople. Look at the still of Rico. He looks confused after smelling that fragrance. He's like, what happened? What did I smell? Do a funk, trademarked by Juan of Fat Boy Fragrances. Another one I like that really caught my eye is when you were doing that Spice Bomb dark leather, and you had already wore it, and you said, I put my skin on the line. You know, it's not a test strip. I put my skin on the line, sprays it in the air. I mean, these guys ain't doing that shit. There's levels to this shit. And the test strip people and the fucking spraying it on the box people, they ain't there yet. Nikki B. Is she on YouTube? Nikki B. You know, I've been meaning to check out the Robes08 channel, because Robes08's the goddamn goat. I don't give a damn. I know people don't like him. I know he's got the personality of a wet blanket sometimes, but he's the goddamn goat, people. He just is. He's just the greatest. His videos. I mean, come on. The fact that he's pulling out these expensive fragrances and he's not calling them reviews. He's calling them what they are, unboxings. And the fact that he'll pull out samples and call them sampling samples. Robes08 never told no lie. Let me tell you something about how much stock I put in Robes08. I've blind bought almost everything that I found interesting on his channel. Complete blind buy. Your word is good, I'm buying it. You know how many bad blind buys I've bought from Robes08? Is the amount right here. 0. None. One fragrance that I bought a decant of and not a full bottle. And because of the way he described it. He loves it. It was that Bortnikov. That Bortnikov Tabak Dore. And the way he described it, I knew not to be careful. And that is the closest thing you'll find to like a bad blind buy. The worst full bottle blind buy. And when I say worst, I mean it just didn't blow me away like everything I've blind bought. Chopard's Vanille Madagascar. That didn't blow me away. That smelled like a nice vanilla ice cream and tea. It smells good. When it didn't blow me away, I thought, oh, it's not blowing me away, and I wasn't going to like it, but it was somewhere in the middle. I do like it. But that's the worst. That's it. These people talk about, I'm just going to spray something on my hand and review it. No, people, that's not how it's done. Nikki B. I see Nikki B. I don't see anything about that crap Xarmony fragrances. AC smells good as a damn good. He's a damn good reviewer. Where did he go? Let me see if I got the right Nikki B, because I'm not seeing anything about Xarmony. Maybe we go to one other channel, and just to show you what a dumbass this guy is. He was well, there you go. People pushing the horrible fragrances. This guy did a S-Boy video, and he goes, I was hesitant about the Soulja Boy fragrance because he's a rapper and I'm a rapper. You are not a rapper. He looks like a fucking vampire from the fucking 1800s. Look at him. He looks like he's the Walking Dead. And he's there's no way he's not slow.
Yo, you kids are on there.
He came out in this one video, and he's watching another rap video, and he starts like rapping about all this street shit, and I'm just like, No, you don't, Pete. You know, you don't. You live in a fucking gated community somewhere or a trailer park. I'm just shocked that he would find other people that should know better about these shit fucking CEO fragrances. But look, we're gonna go to his a real quick video, his real quick thoughts on Le Beau Paradise Garden, which I now have 2 bottles of it. I loved it so much.
Boss again.
You're not a boss, you idiot. You're not a boss. That's why you're wearing $30 fucking sunglasses from fucking Kohl's.
Coming back with another before you buy finally of this Jean Paul Gaultier Le Beau Paradise Garden.
What you mean finally, bitch? I had that fragrance for fucking 4 months. What do you mean finally? Before I buy, where were you 4 months ago?
Okay, quitting.
When are you gonna grow in that goddamn mustache, you stupid bastard?
Bach is the perfumer behind this fragrance. This is like what, the 3rd or 4th fragrance inside of the Beau line. Gotta look into that. But I smelled the original Le Beau. I smelled Le Beau Le Parfum. Now I got the Paradise Garden. The presentation is still good. You know, you still gotta open it from the bottom. Got the 4.2 ounce.
By the way, dum there's 3 in the Le Beau line. There's also the Labelle line, which has many flankers.
Ounce bottle. Okay. Is this a fragrance you want to go pick up? I know it is. But let me break down this review into 4 parts. The smell, the performance, the occasion, and the final verdict. All right, let me not take up too much of your time. Let me go ahead and get into how this smells. Okay, so as y'all know, the original Le Beau and the Beau Le Parfum was like a coconut pina colada smelling fragrance. It's been cloned a lot of times. This fragrance right here, it still got that island tropical vibe, but now I'm getting like a Kool-Aid vibe. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Where's Juan? Where's Juan when he hears this shit? Juan, are you still here? Did you hear this man just say Le Beau Paradise Garden smells like fucking Kool-Aid? I think Juan's been so sickened by this idiotic fucking take on this fragrance that he's left the stream, and I don't blame him. This man is a fucking moron. Le Beau Paradise Garden smells like Kool-Aid. I'm not making this up that he said it either. He said it right in front of you.
To you, like it smelled like a tropical watermelon Kool-Aid.
There's no watermelon in it, you idiot, nor no note that would make it smell anything similar to watermelon. You're smelling fig, you idiot. It's called fig.
Watermelon Kool-Aid. Yeah, like a pineapple.
I think somebody's writing for this shit, and that somebody is a racist bastard to make him come out and say Le Beau Paradise Garden smells like watermelon Kool-Aid.
Watermelon Kool-Aid. Very watery, so I wouldn't say Kool-Aid. Capri Sun. If Capri Sun had a pineapple watermelon Capri Sun, that is what this smells like. Do I like how it smells? I don't know. It's still kind of tropical. It's still got like that vacation-y on the beach vibe. I can see myself, which I've been doing lately, layering this fragrance on top of other more.
By the way, those bottles don't go completely to the fucking top. I don't know how much he's been wearing this or layering it, seeing as how he just got it.
Denser fragrances. This is a real good layering agent. Regardless of what any one of these reviewers talk about, you can find some uses out of this fragrance. Imagine you got a fragrance that's...
And by the way, why is he talking about fucking layering it and why layering it is so important? I usually try to layer shit when I don't like it. What an insult to say this fragrance is good for layering. No, that fragrance is good for fucking wearing it, you idiot.
It's real dark, earthy, oody with like some rose. And then
I think this guy has done some kind of. I think he couldn't grow his beard in, and he did some kind of hair transplant where he got hair from his eyebrows and from his mustache to make a fucking halfway attempted beard.
you add some of this watermelon pineapple on top of it.
There's no pineapple in fucking LeBeau Paradise Garden, you idiot. And now there's pineapple in it. What fake ass fucking fragrance did this man buy off fucking Wish where he's smelling watermelon and pineapple in it?
Bingo, you got something different. Just make sure that the base notes is a little similar. So on a dry down, you're not tripping.
Did you hear this, man? Juan, he said there's pineapple and watermelon in fucking LeBeau Paradise Garden. He even showed the notes where there's neither of those in there.
And passing people out. Don't want that to happen. This also doesn't smell like anything on the market. So it gets a lot of points, in my opinion, for smelling really different, just like the LeBeau did. Let me get into the performance. If you're not like hydrated and you got the right type of watery and so light, if you're not like hydrated.
All right, prepare for the like stupidest shit he said in his video.
And you got the right type of body butter. Like I use that this fragrance doesn't last all day, but it's not a fragrance that dissipates really quickly. It's kind of in the middle. But because it's so watery and so light, if you're not like hydrated and you got the right type of body butter, like I use Luxury Life's body butter, right? I put that on and I've been layering it with this LeBeau and I've been getting like 5 to 6 hours. But that's because
I'm not a big believer in the magical skin chemistry, but I do, however, know if you wear a lotion, because lotion is very thick and dense and doesn't dissipate, it will make your fragrances last longer. So if I were to put a lotion on this fragrance that probably lasts about 5 or 6 hours on my skin already, I'd probably get a good 8 or 9 hours out of it. So the fact that he says, and this guy's got a broken nose, obviously, the fact that he puts the lotion and that only lasts 5 hours, the man's an idiot. He's got a broken nose and he probably bought that lotion off wish.com just like he did that fake fucking fragrance.
I drink about a gallon of water a day. I'm not lying. 2 of these, like I filled this up twice and it's gone twice. Like 2 of these big ass canisters of water. Matter of fact, I'm about to go fill it up again and it's gonna be over a gallon. But I'm very hydrated and I drink a lot of water, so I know my skin isn't really dry to really suck up all the goddamn oils in this fragrance. So I'm getting maximum projection. Okay, it's gonna radiate. You're gonna smell like a little watermelon.
So because of the amount of water he drinks, that affects the projection of his fragrances and how his magical snowflake skin just absorbs the fragrance at a different amount than other normal non-gallon drinking water people's skin. This is the dumbest shit I ever heard in my fucking life. Boy, you guys better drink more water if you want those fragrances to last. I hope you fucking pour that in a fucking bowl and drown yourself in it, you dumb motherfucker.
Candy walking around people. It's not bad. It's just in the middle when it comes to projection and sillage. But let me get into the occasion you should wear this fragrance. All right, straight up. Vacation. Like I said before, vacation. You want to wear this to like hotels. I know that sounds weird, but for some reason.
You want to wear this to hotels, people? I know what I'm going to do. Top 10 hotel lobby fragrances. You want to wear this to hotels?
Hotel lobbies. If you're just going downstairs to grab you some breakfast inside that luxury hotel you at, I'll just throw this on, like facts. Like, you know, them type of resorts like the water parks, Kalahari. If you're going to an amusement park and they got like a little water park as well, I could see you putting some watery watermelon candy like fragrance on. You want to wear shorts, t-shirts.
I can't take them any more of this nonsense. This idiot, the best hotel lobby fragrance of all time. He's a moron. He's Chris the CEO, but he couldn't pay. I don't know how that TV's on. He couldn't pay the light bill. His fragrances aren't lit up. His little sign just died. How's that TV even fucking working? No. Just purge this scum from the community. Vomit him out like a whale does ambergris. He is filth. Look at this old Robes08 video. The fragrance community is going to shits. He called it 5 years ago. This was the moment of Chris the CEO's birth. And Satan himself shat out a turd. And it smelled like watermelon and pineapple. That turd's name was Chris the CEO. Look at this. Look at these fragrances. Have you got Atelier Cologne, Garner Barcelona, Beaufort London, Julian Hazagat, Fan Your Flames. This thing's coming today. I blind bought this bitch, not the X version, the version that he liked even better, the Fan Your Flames. I bought that bitch, blind buy it. I blind bought it just off what he said. Go Dolphin. I love Godolphin. I have a decant of it right here. I got the full bottle too. I got Go Dolphin. I like it, but everything he said about this fragrance and that brand is 100% correct. This was my favorite when he just every day he got a bottle of Crown Royal, new bottle, unboxed it, and shat on every one of that fucking terrible brand's fragrances the way they should be shat on. $500 fragrances that smell like fucking rack store trash. And another fragrance I like, but everything he says about it's true. It's just designer shit. It's overpriced, but I love it. He didn't. Nothing new. 100% facts about that Danger cologne. That is nothing new at all. In the Parfum Cologne line, that's probably my least favorite is the Danger Pour Homme. I love the Scandal too, but even that's not nothing new. This is where I found Chapard, the mighty house of fucking Chapard. When you spend $300 and then you smell the fragrance and it smells like some $100 designer shit, that is common these days. Chapard is the opposite. You'll spend $100 and then you'll smell it. You'll be like, wow, this smells like a $200 fragrance. You know, I have like 4 or 5 now and I love them. Another lackluster Xerjoff. This looks interesting. I may try this, but I don't know that price for what he described it. Look at all these fragrances. Vanilla Madagascar. I bought that. Aigle Imperial. Phenomenal fucking fragrance. Fucking phenomenal. Shitting on the Polo Reds, which I have, which are not special. Dior Riviera. Spice Bomb Red. We may start with the we might start with these right here. I think we're gonna just dive right the fuck in. First, let's go into the one that started it all if we can find it. If I can find the fragrance that started me just fucking binge watching this guy's content. It wasn't this. Even though he didn't like it, and I saw his review on this, I bought a decant of it. Here we go. The man, the myth, the legend, the truth, the GOAT, Robes08.
Oh, God, look at my sun damage, guys. I don't want to see.
Personally, so this is more of a grown-up.
This guy's so good. I buy the fragrance and know what it is. I still go back and watch.
Cool.
Let's go get him again.
Welcome back to the Robes08 channel. I'm your host, Mark, and on the docket today, we have an unboxing in for some prep.
That shit's corny as hell, and it's hilarious every time he does it. It's like a little mascot.
Video on the channel. Not much of an unboxing. I have a couple testers here for basically for me to decant. So this is not for my personal collection. This is from the brand of Parfum de Marly, and this is their newest release called Perseus. Now, Perseus is going to be your favorite influencer's favorite new fragrance for summer 2024.
And it was, and he called it. Every one of these shill influencers had it for free, and they raved about it. Oh, the greatest summer fragrance of all time. He called it 100% facts.
Be warned, PDM is probably, it was the first real brand to really push out the free bottles and the free bottle brigade. They're going to say this is the best new summer release. It is the best summer release from PDM. It doesn't smell like this, and this from what other people say. This is a brand that is, to me personally, is a high-end, and I say that loosely, just because of price tag, but it is a clone brand with...
I have, if you could see them, many bottles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I have at least 14 that I can see. Some are behind that hamper right there. 14 Parfums de Marly bottles. I love Parfums de Marly. It is somewhat of a clone brand. And when I tell this to people, a lot nicer than Robes tells you, by the way. When I tell you it's kind of a clone brand, and I list all the fragrances that are cloning something, people just get upset. They defend Parfums de Marly to the death because their favorite influencer showed her boobs and told her how great it is. Didn't mention the fact that her boyfriend is in the family of Parfums de Marly's ownership. But yes, it's a clone brand. More facts from Robes08.
Nice bottles, heavy caps, and that's about it. There's no identity to Parfum de Marly. When I think Parfum de Marly, I think clone brand. I think you don't have a fragrance note or a nose that's behind the brand that really makes me think of the brand. Like Hermes has, when I think Hermes, I think of quality. I think of Jean-Claude Elena. I think of summer, spring fragrances. There's Chanel. There's a certain identity to brands. Amouage.
This is what you don't get from those decant lames. You go run and tell them this I smell. You go run and tell that to these decant lames. This is what they don't feature in their videos. The identity of the brand they're talking about. What is Parfums de Marly's identity? I know the identity of Mason Francis Kirkjohn. Women love to wear this stuff. They got some line of silver fluidity, gold fluidity, these citrus heavy ones, and they got stuff like this. I know the identity of that brand. I know the identity of, say, Xarmony, the identity of Jean Paul Gaultier and their fragrances, even Zaharoff. We know the identity of Mancera's. You're gonna get these great performing. Sometimes they're a little too floral. They're sweet. Sometimes they're intense. We know the identity of Mancera, that they're a beginner. Your first step into niche should be Mancera. We know their identity. You know what the identity is of Parfums de Marly? Parfums de Marly has the niche version of a Mont Blanc. Parfums de Marly has the niche version of Terre de Hermes. Parfums de Marly has the niche version of this or that or whatever they're cloning. That's their identity.
those are the brands that really lay an impact in the fragrance community. This is one of those that we're going to take advantage of you. It really is the shady salesman, the shady car salesman of the fragrance community. And that's why I don't like the brand that much.
I just, thank you for expanding my vocabulary of what to call these people, Robes. Used car salesmen. That's what they are. Lemon sellers.
However, here we are decanting it because people enjoy these fragrances. So I haven't smelled this fragrance. I have these two fragrances that I have to decant here. These are testers, and that's why they are out of the box. It did come with a generic box, but
by the way, these sample reviewers, decant reviewers. Oh, but it's so expensive. Oh, I can't afford it. I can't go out and get a bottle. Look at the fucking partnership Robes has with Fragflex. Look at him. He gets bottles from Fragflex. He doesn't buy the bottles. He decants them because Fragflex offers decants. So what he's doing is he's doing the work for them. And what is he getting in return? He might be getting paid for actually working, not just shilling, actually doing some work. Not only that, he gives a discount code to Fragflex for not just what he's talking about, for anything on the store. And on top of that, while you guys cry and piss and moan about you can't afford to buy a bottle for a review, guess what he has in his hands for his unboxings that he didn't buy? And he also didn't get it like for free, just handed to him by the company. Guess what he got? He put in some work so that he could get the bottle for his content. So when you cry about fucking, I can't afford a bottle for a video, do the work. Do the work. Be good enough to strike a deal, an amazing deal like Robes08. To do the work, to put in some actual work. And in return, he gets a bottle for his videos. I love it, Robes. I wish I could find a deal like that.
Whatever. It even has like the note breakdown behind it, so that kind of helps. This is a freshie from what I see from the note breakdown already. So,
and if you were curious about the concentration of Perseus, Mel has chimed in and let us all know that it's a eau de parfum. It is eau de parfum.
The note breakdown has, bergamot, pineapple, grapefruit, blackcurrant, vetiver, green mandarin, geranium, some woods, ambergris. So, the pineapple bergamot correlation kind of makes you think of Ventus, perhaps. We'll see. But yeah, a lot of citruses up front. So we're thinking a summer fragrance here, 2024 release. The nose behind this, I believe, was Natalie Templar, which did a lot of Dubai-inspired type fragrances. So PDM. So let's get into it. Let's sniff this one out.
He knows the perfumer. He knows the history of the perfumer and her resume. And he just laughs. He just laughs about who they reached out to get it for. That's all I'm going to comment about that.
Again, I am going to speak about where you can get these decants once I start decanting them. But let's sniff it. I got a strip here, so we're going to go strip first, and then, of course, on my skin. And again, for me, you know me. If you're new to the channel, basically, I have no...
Did you hear him? What I was talking about earlier, putting your skin on the line. He said, I'm going to spray it on a test strip. And then, of course, not even a maybe. Of course, I'm going to put it on my fucking skin.
No affiliation, no free bottle brigade here. I'm not going to tell you this is the best PDM in the world unless it is. I'm really don't have any, I don't care. Brands don't have to send me anything, honestly. So I'm one of those that, I'll tell you exactly how it is. And I have the experience with it. There's so many fragrance reviewers out there that had it, they have the experience. Gensense, Red Essence, they have experience. They're not using it anymore. They're using it to sell, unfortunately. But that's part of the fragrance community, I guess. So let's sniff this one out and let's see what I get up.
This is where I don't agree with Robes right here. I agree with what he said about they got the experience and they're not using it. I don't agree with the rolling over and just saying, well, that's what the community is. No, no, no. Keep outing them, Robes. Keep humiliating them.
Top again, it's an unboxing first impression, so you're not going to get dry down and performance out of me.
Do you hear him admit that it's just an unboxing? That there's certain things you're not going to get out of this. As much of an expert as he is, as much more information as we're going to get from the rest of these fake reviewers, he still goes out of his way to say it's just an unboxing and it's just a first impression. Look at the title, Unboxing Series. It doesn't say full review.
Ooh, very, very vivid, tart grapefruit. Very good grapefruit. Actually, really good grapefruit. That's all I'm really getting here, but it has that tartness that I really like in fragrances. Again, I don't want to go more negative than I usually do, but honestly, you can get this from Pampelune from Guerlain under $100. You can get Terre d'Hermès, Eau Givrée, stuff like that. So a really tart, beautiful grapefruit, as rare as they come, and they are rare. There's a lot of bad.
By the way, I bought that Guerlain Pampelune. Amazing fragrance. Amazing. I bought it for like $50. Blind bought it from Robe's recommendation, by the way. Love it. It got me onto the whole series. I also bought their Bergamot, another great, amazing fragrance. They're lighter, fresher, such high quality. Just think of a $50 fragrance that smells like it's at least 100. Blind bought it from Robes. No fucks given. A great fragrance. And Eau Givrée, I don't really have the love for that fragrance that a lot of community has. But again, another quality blind buy from Robes08. Both of those amazing grapefruits, just like this. He gives you this unboxing and he gives you two less expensive alternatives. What more do you want, people? Are you not entertained by the goat yet?
Grapefruits in the industry. Talking about Terre d'Hermès, this is going a little green here. And I am getting a little bit of orangey grapefruit thing. Okay, so, it's turning. It's not really, it's not helping the whole, I think this is a clone brand. It smells like a Terre d'Hermès flanker. Is that a bad thing? No, it smells good.
Right before I said that, I was gonna say, "Don't you hold back, Robes. You tell them what you're thinking when you're laughing," because I know what I was thinking. That moment when it hits you that it's a fucking clone of Terre d'Hermès with a twist. The Parfums de Marly twist. That's their identity.
For the price tag, no, it does not smell very good anymore. Terre d'Hermès, you can get a fraction of the price of this stuff, and Terre d'Hermès is a really good release. So I'm not saying it smells bad, but it smells like something. So let's put it on skin and see, if there's anything different here. What a bad atomizer, these ones. Oh, yeah. So
to the reviewers that say, I only review what I like. He put it on his skin. He's going to wear that all day. He's going to wear that all day to make content for you guys.
Okay, so grapefruit's your central note from the strip and from my skin here. Bright, energizing, energetic, tart. It has that really has a slight rind to it. It has an orange peel type of flavor too. So there's green mandarin in this, yes. So almost the rind and the skin of the orange or the mandarin based with a grapefruit tartness. Beautiful. Beautiful, but it reminds me of Tel d'Hermès Eau Très Fraîche, honestly, with the grapefruit bergamot kind of like, it really is. And the orange facets. And there's some green vetiver here, rooty vetiver too. It's rooty. So if you don't like vetiver, I don't think you're going to like this one. Off the top, it's starting to get even more green here. Yeah, it's taking that Eau Très Fraîche. And I have my bottle here in Eau Givrée too, like Hermès, potato. But this is so, and this is off the top, right? How is this going to develop in the back end? Dry woods, cashmere wood, ambre gris. It doesn't seem like there's going to be much of a back end. So honestly, the build itself is good. So tart grapefruit is your primary up top. Secondary is your green mandarin, but it's taking the rind. It's getting you're taking the orange peel, the mandarin peel facet in here with the tart grapefruit. Really great combo, uplifting. I love it. I love that opening. It's not going to stay throughout the fragrance. I doubt it. These grapefruits don't last too long. And then there's a very strong, and it's getting much stronger. The more I progress, the more I progress, it's a very rooty vetiver. So you're going to get that earthy, rooty, a little bit of a woody backdrop, but this is exactly what PDM is all about. It's a designer fragrance with niche price. Typical PDM, artistically not there. Get the Hermès edition instead of this. And these influencers they're gonna try to spin it. Like they may say, oh, it's okay, it's good, it's not the best, or they might say it's the best. But they like to spin things like using things that are, you can't quantify it. Things like I'm getting tons of compliments to try to sell this fragrance.
Compliments.
How? Like, give me the stats of that, right? They're going to say always longevity and projection.
I want statistics. I want a spreadsheet of compliments per sprays, per uses, per time of wearing from all these shills and their compliment videos.
Action beast mode. Oh yeah, of course there, buddy. And they're using things like that have no real substance to it to actually sell a product that they think is subpar. Again, this is a designer fragrance in a niche price point, not good. The grapefruit, outstanding. And that's one thing I'm going to give it to them for. However, it's not a new idea. You're piggybacking off Hermès, Pampelune by Guerlain, even better of a grapefruit than this. Those are fragrances that are around $100 or less. The Hermès is more expensive because of the brand, but the Guerlain Pampelune kills this. Doesn't seem like I'm going to get much development out of this. Like the vetiver is super strong in here. Like I would say this is probably a vetiver-based fragrance. Once all the citruses kind of burn off, this is probably going to be a heavily vetiver fragrance with some dry woods and maybe a little bit of ambre gris. I'm not getting like that flintiness from the Hermès, but which makes it more interesting personally. So this is more of a grown-up type of scent too. Pineapple I didn't get, by the way. Blackcurrant buds, and spirit, like a little bit, but not much. It's not a major factor. The major factors here are your grapefruit, your green mandarin, and then maybe a little bit of that bergamot, but that's about it to give that sparkle. But yeah. So again, brand new release from PDM. You're going to get free bottles to Redolescence. You're going to get free bottles to Gent Scents. Positive reviews. You're going to get the Eau d'Ericas that like the biggest PDM. Like that person has no nose to me personally.
Shots fired. Shots fired at Eau d'Erica. But remember, I'm a hater, right? I'm a hater. I'm a misogynist. What did he just say about Eau d'Erica? She doesn't have a nose. He has zero respect for Eau d'Erica. Hold on, we gotta play that again. Hold on. Hold the phone up right here.
The biggest PDM, like that person has the gent scents, positive reviews. You're going to get the Eau d'Ericas that like the biggest need a
you see his
decant. So
face?
this is not
Did you see his face? He said,
pineapple. Yeah. So again, brand compliments and projection launch. Not for my personal collection. I did not major. I would say this is probably a vetiver based around $100. No, try them. Not looking for PDM fragrances at Frag Farm, and since not best and longevity, something like this with has no nose, like the biggest.
look at his face when he says "Oh to Erica."
Positive reviews. You're going to get the Eau d'Ericas that like the biggest PDM. Like that person has no nose.
No nose. Not even doesn't know much, doesn't know a lot. Has no nose. No business doing this in this community. You say it, Robes. You say it and you stand on it.
To me personally, and will try to sell something like this with weird things like compliments and projection longevity. So do not fall into that trap. And that's the only real thing to take from this fragrance review is these brands you got to test.
This is an unboxing, Mike. It's an unboxing of the fragrance.
Test and try them. So as for me, this is again not for my personal collection. I did not purchase this with my own money. I'm not looking for PDM fragrances personally. I own 3 in my whole collection, and that's it. This is gonna get decanted here at Fragflex. I make 10 ml decants. They're gonna be coming next week on fragflex.com. And since I'm decanting for them, they did give me a code, which is TFG10 to get 10% off on your decants. So if this seems interesting to you, maybe you don't want to spend how much PDMs are, $200, $300, $400 Canadian, give or take. You can get a small 10 ml decant and it will satisfy you. My suggestion, if you're looking for my suggestion, personally, if this seems interesting to you and you haven't smelt the Tattletamaze series, do. It does exactly what this does. It's an old idea. It's a stolen idea. So that's it. Go check out fragflex.com to go check out my decants. Now that you're my take, I'd love to see yours in the comments below. What do you think about the newest PDM, the PDM brand as a whole? It's not a brand that you're going to try to find innovation from. Copy, paste is their motto, basically. As always, a great pour fragrance will make a lasting impression. Choose your scent wisely, especially a grapefruit one. Thanks for watching, YouTube. Have a good one.
You saw him, people. You've witnessed the GOAT, the greatest. 100% honesty. He told you he didn't buy the bottle. He told you how he got it. He's decanting for Fragflex. He gave you not an affiliate link where he could try to push whatever that fragrance is linked to it. He gave you a discount for their whole store. You can buy anything you want. You don't got to listen to him. He's selling the decant of the fragrance he just talked about, and he still trashed it. He not only trashed it, he trashed these fake reviewers, including Oda Erica, by saying she had no nose. She doesn't know what she's talking about. I know it. You know it. And the real reviewers out there know it, and they got no respect for her. This is another blind buy from Robes08. It's called Nishane's Fan Your Flames. And it's everything he said it was. It's a beautiful scent. And I know now why it's called Fan Your Flames. It's like a beautiful. I don't know anything about this fragrance other than the sniff I've had for 10 seconds. So take this with a grain of salt, but I get a very incensey church candle smell, almost like a flame has been blown out of a candle. And it's gorgeous. It's an art piece for sure. Oh, Robes08. He's batting 1,000. This guy with his recommendations. This ain't no Macy's counter fragrance. I think you guys know. I think you guys know my favorite part of the video when he trashed Erica. He said she don't have no nose. She ain't got no nose. Let's go through the shorts. There's got to be a fucking short here. There was an amazing short here that I saw. Unfortunately, I can't find it no more. Basically crapping all over the community. Look at this amazing collection that he has. Let's see if I can find another interesting fragrance for him to crap on. Oh, I know where we're going. I know where we're going with this. Remember, the bottle doesn't matter, people. Taken a test drive. Wait a second. This is not a full review. God, that Fan Your Flames is fucking fire, people. It really is. I'm gonna have to. I'm like, this fragrance is so amazing that I'm gonna need to go into another room and give that another testing before I talk about the Fan Your Flames. But it's good, people. It's good. A lot of this, I got the Nishane X, and it's okay. The Hasevat X. But those original Nishanes are just absolute fire, in my opinion. And I think the X is kind of like tinkering with perfection when they made that line. But look at the name of this video. Taken a test drive. It's not full review. It's not spray a decant and let me babble on about what I think about it. Taken a test drive, which is what most of these people are doing. They're just not honest enough. Ah! By the way, if you guys don't know this, for some reason, this man, the GOAT that I think is the GOAT, that I've never said a bad thing about, has blocked me from his channel, sadly. I don't know why. Robes, maybe you could tell me why. I've heard suggestions. I've heard, theories of why I was blocked. I don't know. I don't know why. But I'm a big fan. I don't know why and I don't know why Jeremy Fragrance's brother blocked me either. Another guy that I'm a big fan of. I don't know why what are these guys afraid of? What have I done, Robes? What have I done to you other than pray at the altar of the mighty Robes08? What have I done? What have I done but regale the king of reviews, the royalty that he deserves, the praise? What have I done, Robes, for you to block me? I just would like to know. Unblock me, Robes. Unblock me. I mean no harm to you. I'm a friend, not a foe.
Welcome back to the Robes08 channel. I'm your host, Mark, and welcome to Taking a Test Drive Thursdays. We are taking a test drive on the brand of Fragrance One and its flagship release, Office for Men. This is where it all started. Now, if you're clicking on this video, on this...
Wait a minute, Mel. Are you telling me Robes08 and Oda Erica unfollowed you? I'm not going to tell you the theories that I've heard, the suspicions, the conspiracy theories that I've heard, but it looks like from what you're telling me, they're all starting to come together. They're all starting to come together. The anti-mafia mafia. There's an anti-mafia mafia out there. They're conspiring. They're grouping together. I just hope these are just unfounded theories. I would hate for that to be true, especially of the mighty Robes. Oda Erica, just who cares? But Robes, the mighty one, the legend. He's royalty, for crying out loud. Why would royalty like Robes08 cast us away like mere peasants? I'm going to get the squad on it. They're out there. They're listening. Goon Squad. You know what you got to do.
Channel and you know, thinking that you're going to expect a super polarizing fragrance review here, bashing Jeremy as a person, what he does on his channel, all that, and click off. You're not going to get any juicy details here. This is a test drive. I do take these, you know, I've put in a lot of work with a lot of these test drives, including this one. And I'm going to be separating my thoughts of him and all that versus the scent. It's all about what's in front of me here. Now, there's quite a bit of hate on the line, and that could be perhaps because of him as a figure and as a fragrance reviewer and what he does. And then on the other side of the coin, it kind of just basically, you know, axes out because there's tons of love for the fragrance and a lot of new fragrance reviewers. You can see this on TikTok now. They're really sucking up to the man, basically the person that has the most, basically the most people or most subscribers.
And there you go, Robes, bringing light to what I've been talking about, the circle of friendship, or how I've tagged it, the circle of Xerjoff. But whether it's the circle of friendship, whether it's the circle of Xerjoff, where it's the circle of Parfums de Marly, it is basically a circle of, there's a big influencer with a lot of followers, and we either have to suck up to them or just look the other way as they're scamming people, because Lord help it if we offend the mighty such and such with a huge YouTuber Instagram following. And that's just, anybody who does that is weak. You're weak. You're too weak for the internet. Get off here. Get out of here.
People will give flowers. You know, and again, you can kind of separate the actual fragrance reviewers versus the people that are trying to do this for other things. Now, full disclosure, I did receive this bottle and Date for Men from Jeremy like 4 years ago when he did his marketing push on YouTube with a bunch of YouTubers. So everyone and their mother got 2 to 4 bottles of this stuff. I do have videos on unboxings of this one and Date for Men. Date for Men.
Now I'm a little offended. Jeremy, does Jeremy not know that I have a whopping 1,000 subscribers? I don't know. I only count in thousands. Did he not know? Because where are my free bottles? Where are my free bottles? I paid a whopping 25% of retail cost for my bottles, Jeremy. You were giving them out for free. You made me pay a quarter of the cost of what they actually what you're actually selling them for, but you were giving them free. How dare you, Jeremy? How dare you?
Men is on the docket to get a test drive as well. I'm not going to, I have my regiments on regards to unboxings, first impressions, test drives, full-fledged review, and these came up, and I'm not going to ignore it just because it could be easy to just ignore and do something else, honestly, because I haven't really touched this. I'll be quite honest. And again, it's not just because it's Jeremy Fragrance's fragrance, like things like Bleu de Chanel, Sauvage, Dylan Blue. These are fragrances that are mainstream, very popular, but do I reach out for them? No, they just collect dust. So this one right here, And I haven't received anything else from the.
I have the entire line of fragrance one, the men's fragrances, anyways. I think Office is an amazing fragrance that I never reach for. And you know why I never reach for it? And this is the God's honest truth. When I go to reach for it, I've got it right next to Prada Luna Rossa Carbon. And my wife knows those two fragrances smell the same. And when I reach for it, she says, no, 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 no. Wear the Prada. And that's why that thing has like almost no dent in it. Even though it's a great fragrance, I do love it.
The brand fragrance one. After I got the initial fragrances and I did my videos, yeah, I kind of expected that I wasn't going to get any more product from that brand. But let's talk about Office for Men. If you haven't already, hey, hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate it. And smash that like button. Much appreciated on my end. Let's go under the hood. Let's take a look at some stats on Office for Men. Release date was back in 2019, and I believe my unboxing was in 2020, early 2020, give or take. Nose behind this is the All-Star Perfumier Alberto Marias. An all-star nose. I do have to give him props. However, for many of these YouTubers, unfortunately, they use noses. They use.
Is it me or does Alberto Marias look like the psychotic warden from Shawshank Redemption? He looked like he's gonna hand you the Bible before the guards beat you to death.
Their name as a selling point. So. You know, he started that. Jeremy started that with this brand, and now all the other YouTubers with Navitus and all their own brands, they're utilizing a nose and their name and their reputation as a selling point. Now, unfortunately for them, there's no real. How can I say? There's nothing to gravitate towards. Yeah, you could say you got Alberto Marias, okay, but. Has he done no shitty fragrances? Yeah, he has. He's done more wrong than right. Has he not done a poorly done?
You cannot go to a rack store and not walk past a bunch of shitty $15, $20 fragrances that don't have Alberto Marias behind them. Although he's made like some amazing, well-known fragrances, he's made some shitty ones too. And even the ones that he's known for are really not even that good or special. It wasn't until the Chapard series where I found some like Alberto Marias fragrances that were really special. So he's right again. And Anuj was, I think you were saying something about you thought the Michael Malouls were underrated. This is what I've always said about the Michael Malouls. I think for what they give you, they are appropriately priced. They're very mass appealing. They're not expensive. The narrative is always like, they cost $130. I have never paid $130 for a Michael Malou fragrance, and I'm talking directly from Michael Malou. I pay about $90 for them at the most. They do hit discounters for like 60. And again, this one's my favorite, by the way. It's called Midnight Blue. The dent doesn't lie. And Chris, the CEO, this actually has watermelon in it. You dumb motherfucker, Chris. There's no watermelon in LeBeau, goddammit.
Made fragrance? Yeah. Has he made a cheap one? Yeah. It really depends on your budget. It really depends on your creative director, on what the scent is going to be, the scent profile. So yeah, you can use a flashy name, but it shouldn't be the selling point to your fragrance. It doesn't mean it's quality. It doesn't mean that it has to be expensive because Alberto did it. Alberto has done bargain bin stuff. And keep that in mind when buying fragrances. Like, these YouTubers are using any trick in the book. And that goes for all of them. Like, I've seen a lot of them just using the name of the perfumier. Okay, well, doesn't mean it's expensive just because so-and-so did it. So let's get into the major notes. The major notes to my nose: bergamot is heavy in the introduction of this. Very heavily used compound. Ambroxan's in there. And I'm not a fan of Ambroxan, so you're going to kind of know where this fragrance review is going to go. I mean, that's just, I'm being consistent. You can go through my fragrance reviews throughout the years. It's not because it's a YouTuber's fragrance that I'm hating on it. I don't like Ambroxan, never will. And there's a woody compound in here, and I'm going to call it cedar. It's more cedar-like than anything else. Let's get to sniffing. And as usual, on any test drive, I have my strip here that I've utilized for several days to kind of remind myself while I'm writing my brief here. And that could be day, night. Anytime I have spare time that I can wear this fragrance, I will to write basically a brief for all of you. So it's still fresh on here from yesterday's spray. I am wearing this fragrance as my scent of the day today, and we are going to remind myself of this introduction off my hand here. And I think my unboxing, I stated this, and I'm going to state it again. The opening of Office for Men starts us off with the usual suspect of bergamot. And as a fragrance reviewer, I got to say, okay, look at what the bergamot is and versus a lot of other fragrances. And the bergamot in here is probably one, if not the most utilized citrus in the modern era. It's really popular. The bergamot here is quite good. It's well-rounded, and it will give the scent some brightness and a certain sparkle in this opening. Actually, the more you spray this stuff, the more, be careful, but the more rounded the bergamot smells to me. I mean, really, really in this opening. Now, overspraying this, especially if you don't like Ambroxan, good luck. I feel there's quite a bit of bergamot in this release, and it will remind some of the use of.
By the way, that bergamot in that fragrance never goes away. It might change a little bit, but it never goes away. If you don't like bergamot, this fragrance is not for you.
That note in Aventus, and I would slightly agree on that part. It's much better than many designers that utilize bergamot in their releases, but it isn't the best bergamot in the game. Now, the bergamot itself sticks around, and it sticks around a lot longer than I expected into the start of the dry down, actually, which is a really good sign. As personally, this is the best part of Office for Men. It's all downhill from here now. Sorry, folks. It starts off fresh, it's clean, it's citrusy, little fruity, tad piece of sweetness in here, and smells like a solid designer bergamot note. You can't be hating on this. And Maria's, his strengths, personally for me, are aquatics personally. And, obviously because of the fame of what he does. And he's a well-rounded perfumier personally. The only thing that I don't like about Marias is that he's never showed me that he could do better than just a top-selling designer fragrance. He's never, he's tippy-toed in high-end fragrances that are really expensive, like 150, 200, 300, 400. And in those instances, it just reminds me of designer fragrances. He really never stepped up personally as a fragrance, and he's done a lot. And again, I haven't smelt all his fragrances. He releases like 40, 50 fragrances a year. And he's been at this for a long, long time. So it's kind of hard to smell all. But this is where this fragrance goes in the downhill factor. And this is paired with an Ambroxan. Now, the Ambroxan itself is annoying. I absolutely hate that compound. And anyone that knows me knows I hate that note. And depending on the utilization of it, Sauvage is probably, Dial Sauvage Eau de Toilette is probably the worst culprit. There's others, but that one's pretty bad. And they utilize this compound, and here it hits hard. It switches from an authentic and beautiful citrus bergamot to a synthetic musky. There's some peppery nuances here. There's some woody aspects here, but none of those smell rounded. They never smell. They don't. And again, it smells.
Oh, he's not saying this is better than a designer. He's telling you this is a designer fragrance. At God knows what Jeremy's charging for this, like $300. I think I caught Jeremy on a day he was re-upping his stash, if you get my drift. That's why he gave me such a good deal.
Not authentic. It doesn't smell good to me, to my nose. Like the pepper does not smell like peppercorn. It just smells like something, and again, like a chemically done thing. And I understand, like some perfumiers can do like a note like pepper and make it really smell rounded. And I love that about, like, the bergamot in here is fairly rounded, but here there's just some, it's not well composed. It's kind of annoying. Sauvage Eau de Toilette does it worse than this, honestly. So it's not as annoying, but I say the opening is a little superior, and this back end gets out on the product and things like that. The brief, I would probably cringe. It screams that kind of stuff, like every day kind of stuff. You need one of those, but at this price point, 7 to 9 hours. Sometimes you can push a little longer, but through and through, there's no niche quality here at all. I don't care if Matthias did it. I don't care if Jesus himself kicking him. But I don't like this fragrance, and I'm going to give my final thoughts because I'm honest, and I don't really care on who I anger or if
He threw the test strip like it was garbage. And now he's about to rip in on Jeremy Fragrance.
you're getting angry, that's your issue. My final thoughts are this. This is a designer fragrance through and through. There's no niche quality here at all. I don't care if Matthias did it. I don't care if Jesus himself did it. This copied others before it. There is.
Now, hold on. Maybe Robes isn't aware of this, but you're talking about the #1 fragrance influencer in the world that follows the teachings of Jesus, bud. You be careful.
There's no creative bone in here. There's none. This copies. The problem is, and always has been with this release, the price. Even a buy one, get one, it's still highway robbery. And again, it just makes you think of a lot of these influencers. Anybody that has a bottle written to their name, personally, and I've been in some of these briefs. Don't get it twisted. It's not like I didn't get my time. I got asked to do a brand by some of these, and I looked at them and I'm like, are we going to be spending, giving it to the public for $200 plus a bottle? Yep. But we're going to offer discount codes. No. Can we do one for under $100? No. We got to make yeah, exactly. You're going to make.
Hell no, they don't want an influencer fragrance under $100. That's the scam. I'm telling you, these influencers are scammers. They're in it from day one. From day one. To lure a company, someone stupid enough to make a dude eau de toilette, to make a dude fragrance, to make an influencer fragrance, so that they can pin their name on it and rip off the community. That's why they're here. That's what I don't think is clear about why I roast a lot of these guys. It's because they're here to rip you off.
300% profit on what you're no, that's not cool. Things like this, these things, let me get, do I have one? Yes, I do, right here. This,
Look at that cheap ass cap.
You might not see it. This is a collar. This goes right here and it hides the crimping.
I have never seen a fragrance even over $100 with no collar on the fucking atomizer. I don't think I've ever seen a fragrance that came with no collar. I mean, maybe some offshoot like, clone brand, maybe Xarmony has no collar on his fragrances. I've never even seen that.
Less than a penny. If you're going to buy 10,000 of them, less than a penny, a lot less. And you have to buy them in bulk. That's what that is. That covers that and makes it look just a little prettier. Cap, this is less than a penny. Okay. It's just think about the cost that's going into this and what these influencers are at. They're going at the bottom of the barrel. Like they're going to the bottle manufacturers, atomizers, all this, and they're going at the clearance section. All of these influencers, there's nothing, boxes, bottles, everything. They cheap out on everything to maximize profit. So this, at best, is a $50 fragrance. My suggestion to you, if you're new and you're looking at this and you're going to spend that kind of money, whoa, hold the horses. Go into Macy's. Go check out Sauvage by Dior. I don't like it, but it's pretty much the same thing as this. Bleu de Chanel, Y by YSL, Explore by Mont Blanc. Okay, go and sniff those, because you can go to the store and sniff those, see which one is best for you, and then go to a discounter and get them for almost half price of what Macy's is asking you. If you're going to spend this kind of money on this fragrance, just go get a Ventus. If you're into this bro type of scent profile, just get that. Honestly, I don't see the interest. This is for the mailroom kid, not the CEO. Like he was marketing it as your inner CEO. No, it's the kid in the mailroom, you know, that puts too much cologne on. He goes home, is insecure, but thinks he's the man because he bought a Jeremy fragrance that everybody says there's compliments on.
You're right, Sticks. Quorum doesn't have a collar, and I have Quorum. I bought it from Ross, and you guys can have Quorum too with no collar. And that fragrance cost a whopping $12. The only fragrance you're gonna find as shittily made as office as the bottle is $12 Quorum. Thank you, Sticks, for pointing that out.
Online, and there's all fluff, no substance. The loudness of this scent initially makes me think, has Jeremy ever worked in an office? Like, I'm sorry, if I wore something like this in the office, whew, hey, you're sent home. Prada Amber Put On, Prada Lum, Tom Ford Grey Vetiver. Those are office-based scents, clean, easy to wear, classy even. You smell like soap. No one's going to be like, oh my God. It's almost a joke on how, like, it's almost, he played a joke to the whole fragrance community on how loud this is and calling it office for men.
You know, did nobody notice this other than Robes when he released these fragrances? Like, he calls it office, but it's like a heavy ass Ambroxan fragrance with like a ton of bergamot. It's essentially like a Dior Sauvage, and he called it office. Can you imagine we changed the name of like Jupe Pour Homme to Office? Nobody noticed.
Yeah, so influencer fragrances that cost around $200 now, all thanks to Jeremy, because Jeremy did it. He was successful as far as lining his pockets, and they try to squeeze as much dollars out of their fans. Cheapest caps on the market, bring them on. You know, no collar. You know, spending money on a box? No, not even. But we're going to utilize a nose that everybody knows about and sell that and be like, oh, this is worth $200+. It's a bottle that looks like something that is in the bargain bin at TJ Maxx. Cutting corners is the name of the game, and trying to sell the product by utilizing master perfumers.
You know, if you go to like a TJ Maxx, they have like Mont Blanc Legend, and they have these fragrances. They're usually in a glass case, but then there's these fragrances that are not in the glass case. They're just sitting out there on the shelf, and then they have a sticker on them, so you don't even get a box. That's how inexpensive they are. And that bottle of fucking Office looks like it would fit perfectly on the TJ Maxx shelf with a sticker under it that says $14.99. Sometimes in bottles, they don't even have caps. So like you have to go look at another, like there's a cheap brand that has like a number like 408, and then it has no cap on it. So you got to look at the next one next to it, and that one will be like 119, but the same brand, and you have to kind of steal the cap from it and put it on that one that you want to buy. That's what Jeremy's Fragrances Office is.
And they churn out, you know, $20 fragrances on the market. That should not be a selling point. If you already have Bleu de Chanel, Sauvage, Dylan Blue, etc., this isn't anything new to those. Those fragrances are already past their prime, and the brands have moved on. And for most of them, they've changed the recipe to EDPs, to elixirs, to make them, you know, basically squeeze out the last amount of money of this blue DNA. This scent is stuck in the past, stole from the past, and isn't timeless.
Oh, he's right. That's these are like fragrances that Jeremy Fragrance was like talking up and hyping like when he got here like 15 years ago. Where's the flankers? I thought Fragrance One was a company, not just a product. Where's the flankers? Where's the Office Intense? Where's the fucking Jeremy fragrance date elixir? We're still stuck with this old stuff. It's much like Jeremy himself. It's aging like the aging pretty boy that he is.
Its time has come. So overall, it's time to put this puppy to pasture. As a real reviewer, I'd recommend newbies to try, if you're stumbling upon this video, try Explore by Montblanc. It's not going to...
Excuse me, do you want to see your sun damage?
Sun damage?
wow anybody, honestly, but it's exactly the demographic of what this is going against. Explore by Montblanc. Beautiful bottle, beautiful presentation. You're getting it from
Jeremy Fragrance did not stop making fragrances. His company went out of business, 2 years ago? And when he went out of business, I've said this the minute he announced it, and I'll stick to it because obviously I've been proven right. What it reminds me of is when he's going out of business is when you take a liquor store and you see the owners, by the counter, and it says, going out of business, new ownership. And it's new ownership, and they changed the name of the store, but it's the exact same guy behind the counter. It's the exact same guy that owns it. And they do this several times. And they're going out of business, but they never go out of business. It's the same store, the same people that you've known for the last 10, 15, 20 years. That's what he did. His amazing going out of business sale, like that store that sells mattresses down the street. It's it's been going out of business for the last 2 years, but they're still there. That's what he's doing. We're going out of business sale. Quick, get him now. He's not going out of business. How big of a batch do you think Jeremy Fragrance made to have a buy 45, get 45 free sale? And he's not going out of business. He's still pumping them out. He's still selling them. It's all marketing. He's not going out of business ever.
From a brand that is obviously known. It's going to cost you at a discount of $30 or $50, depending. And trust me, you're going to get a lot more for your money out of that fragrance than you trying to blind buy this because of an influencer. That's my thought process. With all the money you saved, get yourself a haircut, get yourself a gym membership, get yourself some new shoes at the same time, take out a date with all the money you've saved, and you still have a full 100 ml bottle of Explorer in your pocket. Is this original? No. Is there another blue scent that is slowly losing grip on the market? Yeah. Do I recommend it? No. Compliments? Okay. I know there's going to be people in the thing. I get tons of compliments of this. Yeah. So I get it with Liz Claiborne Curve. It's a $10 fragrance. Curve gets compliments. It's a 90s fragrance and it gets compliments.
That is so true. I've actually given the compliment to somebody wearing Curve. So again, everything gets fucking compliments. You'll get a compliment just if you don't stink.
Compliments. You can't grasp compliments. You can't grasp things that, these reviewers are saying sexy. This is sexy. Well, okay. I think Tom Ford's Sahara Noir is sexy, but that's me. Are you going to say the same thing? What does that mean? It's mass appealing. Okay, so is Bleu de Chanel, half the price. So is Montblanc Explorer, mass appealing. Okay, what else are you going to tell me? It's just the, long lasting. Okay, well, Curve by Liz Claiborne's long lasting, $10 fragrance. Yeah. So that is the thing that they sell you on, longevity.
He's comparing it to Curve. The bottle of Curve that I have is, it looks like a giant fucking pepper spray can that they use in the prisons, like a riot can of pepper spray. It's that big, and it was like $30. And I might be wrong, but that I don't even think that one has a collar either. It's got like those grenade pins on it with no collar on it. I think I could be wrong, but that's what he's comparing Jeremy Fragrance's $300 fragrance to. Is it 300 or 400?
Projection, complement factor, and versatility. The designer game already has all that. And you pay less. And you can get samples. And you can test easily because they are at stores. So I went on his site just to see how much this stuff is right now. Without a code, I don't see a code on the site. I'm not going to do that much research. I'm sorry. I'm sure there's a buy one, get one or something, some sort of code. Right now, it's $348 Canadian because I'm Canadian. But I'm going to go USD because I know someone in the comments is going to say, so it's $249 USD. Holy crap. These influencers are utilizing your insecurities. It's sickening to me. Like I just went on his site to see that. And then I see an ad of S-Boy and Jeremy, and they have an ad that says, get a girl, keep a girl with their fragrances. It's like $500 for, like, you'll get both. Both those scents are like bargain bin $20 fragrances. Like, oh.
No, Robes, no. Not the mighty Soulja Boy fragrance that has been so hyped in the community. The top 10 king of fragrances, Soulja Boy. How dare you? What are you telling us right now, Robes? What are you telling us about Soulja Boy? What is this hidden messages? These hidden messages you're giving the community right now? Are you telling me Soulja Boy is not the greatest fragrance of all time? Because that's not what I heard from Bowtie Fragrance Guy. Are you telling me that it's not the number one sexiest fragrance of all time? Because Girly Fragrance told me that. Well, that was before she released her own expensive fragrance. Are you telling me I won't get chicks with Soulja Boy? Robes, how dare blasphemy. It is blasphemy that he insulted Soulja Boy's fragrance. Big Beard Business swears by it. He's got it on a list, goddammit. What are you saying, Robes? What exactly are you saying?
Like, I was just a small, like, that's just not me trying. That's just a small example of these brands and these influencers using your insecurities. I'm looking at you. You bought this to separate you from your money. Quality's not there. Now, I see Jeremy now, the trend is that he squeezed as much money out of the YouTube fragrance community as he could. There's nothing new on these fragrances on YouTube for obvious reasons. His direction is to really squeeze as much out of the TikTok community. That's all I'm seeing is these TikTok little boys here they see Jeremy as their idol, and oh my God, they're breaking bottles, they're spraying 50 sprays, they're being obnoxious. It's just, I should get off TikTok because that's all I see. I see Jeremy creeping out people, smelling their necks all the time. I'm like, why is that being sent to me? Okay, so Office for Men. I'm done with this thing. Yeah, this is, and again, you kind of figured where I was going to go with this one. The scent itself did not sell me at all. The only thing I could say out of this that's appealing is the bergamot itself. It's an actual really good, but there's other things with it that a lot of designer brands do. Longevity, projection, versatility, a compliment factor. People do in the comments is they're going to defend it. These influencers, that's, if you can take one thing out of this, forget Jeremy. He's the one that started it all. He's the little boy that did it all. If you can take one thing out of this video, is that these influencers, if they have their own brand, their own line, okay, and they have these cheap looking bottles that look like this, they look like TJ Maxx bottles, and they're using the name of the creators, these poor creators. Some of them, they're icons. And honestly, like, I have so much respect for all those perfumiers and these influencers utilizing them as a tool to sell their 250. And again, it's their own thing, right? But I just hope that some people out there, like insecure boys, like, wake up. This smelly stuff, it's not magic potion. And just be aware of that. This is not a magic potion. It's
You heard him, folks. You heard him. What was that name? Al Manzano. It's not a potion. You said it was a potion. It's not a potion. It's a cash grab. And they're insulting all the perfumers that are making the eau de parfums. It's an insult. It's a cash grab. The shots at Soulja Boy, hilarious. The shots at Oda Erica, hilarious. Where's the lie that Robes told once in any of this live stream? Where's the lie? There isn't one. it's a scam. Why do you care, Robes? Why do you tell us? As good as you guys think I am at trolling this community, I cannot do any of the work that Robes did. Robes is doing God's work, God damn it. He's doing it. Jeremy Fragrance is following the teachings of Jesus Christ. That's what he tells us anyways on TikTok. But Robes08, he goes straight to the top. He climbs the ladder and he steps over everyone. He goes straight to the top and he says, God, I am your soldier. Give me the assignment. He's doing God's work. And he's nailed the assignment. I don't even know what Bradley Boy Fragrance is. Do you have your own line now, Brad? Don't sell it for anything less than $300. Get Maria on it. Robes08. It's why you're the GOAT. It's why you're a legend. You'll be here when all the rest of us are gone. Thank you, Robes. We're gonna end the stream. God bless Robes08. Unblock me, Robes. Unblock me, God damn it. I'm a friend. I mean no harm to you. I'm safe.